All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to decode the small words that tell big stories, prepositions. And we're going to do it by following the pretty wild adventure of a man named Andy. So let's meet our hero, Andy. And right off the bat, we have a question. What is he running from? He is leaving in a hurry, briefcase in hand, and he looks pretty startled. And whoa, the situation escalates fast. The smoke is now pouring out of the house, a truck is speeding by on the street, and if you look really close, there's someone trapped in that window. This is a real emergency. But wait a second, what is this? Here's Andy again, but now he's on a ladder, and he's breaking into the burning building. He's not running away, he's going in. So now we've got a real puzzle on our hands. So, what's the real story? Is Andy an arsonist or is he a hero? Well, the answer is hidden in those tiny but super powerful words that frame his story, prepositions. You can think of them as little directional words that guide the whole picture in our minds. Let's break down how they work. Okay, first up, words for actions and feelings. To really get what Andy did and how people felt about it, we have to look at how certain verbs and adjectives team up with prepositions to give us the real meaning. You know how some verbs just feel like they need a partner? You don't just insist, you insist on something. So in Andy's story, when he saw that fire, he insisted on helping before the fire department even got there. And this pattern gets even more interesting when you add a person into the mix. So looking at the happy ending here, we know the police aren't going to accuse him of a crime. No way. Instead, the homeowners are going to congratulate him on his bravery, and you can bet they'll forgive him for that broken window. And check this out. It's a perfect illustration. On the left, she might be saying, "I accuse you of reading my diary." And on the right, the coach is probably saying, "I have to congratulate you on winning that tournament." See? The structure is exactly the same. And it's not just verbs, Adjectives follow these rules too. And the proposition can totally change what you mean. For instance, Andy's wife might be angry about his jacket getting ruined, but how could she possibly be angry with him after he just saved someone's house? One is about a thing, the other is about a person. Big difference. All right, section 2, how, who, and why. So we've established Andy is definitely a hero, but how exactly did he pull it off? Now we're going to look at the prepositions that explain, the mechanics of it all. So to explain the method you use to do something, we use the preposition by. How did Andy get into a locked, burning house? It's simple. He got in by breaking a window. By tells us the action he took. Okay, but what did he use? That's where with comes in. It's essential. It names the specific tool he used for the job. He smashed the window with a hammer. He just happened to have in his car. And finally, we have for, which explains the why, the big reason, the purpose behind it all. Why did the owners thank him? Well, they thanked him for his bravery and for saving their home. So let's put it all together and get the whole picture. Just like it says here, the window was smashed by Andy, who got in by breaking it with a hammer and was thanked for his bravery. The entire heroic act, all laid out in just one sentence. Pretty cool, right? Now, this isn't just for, dramatic running into burning buildings moments. These preposition patterns, we call them fixed expressions, they are absolutely everywhere in our day-to-day lives. Think about it, we use these things constantly without even realizing it. We travel by train, but we walk on foot. We send a message by email, but we talk on the phone. And there's not always a simple rule. Sometimes you just have to know them. But watch out for the exceptions. You do something by mistake, but you do it on purpose. And what about describing a situation you're in? These little phrases are perfect. Andy had his big adventure on the way home from work. He had to act in a hurry because people were in danger. And finally, the fire brigade showed up and got the situation in control. Okay, now this is where prepositions get really powerful. Change one tiny word and you create a completely different meaning. Andy saw the fire on the way home. But if his car had broken down and was blocking the fire truck, it would have been in the way. See the difference? And here's another huge one. On time means you're punctual. In time means you got there before it was too late. Andy needed the fire brigade to show up in time to save the house, not just on time according to some schedule. The stakes were way, way higher. So you've seen exactly how these little words build Andy's entire story, adding all that detail, motive, and meaning. So, you ready to put your own skills to the test? Okay, your turn. Here are 3 sentences, and each one is missing a preposition. I'll read them out, and you think about what word goes in the blank. Number 1, Maria insisted blank driving him home. Number 2, could you please forgive me blank being late? And number 3, we didn't succeed blank winning the competition. Go ahead, take a second, pause if you need to. Got your answers? Okay, they are on, for, and in. How'd you do? So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, mastering these small words isn't really about passing some grammar test. It's about getting the power to paint a much clearer, more vivid picture of your world and your experiences, kind of like an artist adding color and detail to a drawing. They really are the invisible glue of language, aren't they? They take all these separate facts, a man, a hammer, a window, a fire, and they stick them all together into a story that actually makes sense and makes you feel something. So I want you to think about that. An argument you had, a trip you took, some challenge you overcame. How can these little words help you tell that story better? Thanks for joining this explainer, and we will see you next time.